Hello. Okay. So I was sorting some things out because I moved my fan to a different position, so it was more kind of managed with the wires and stuff. And now it's not only hitting like the left side of my face. But hello. Good afternoon, stinkers. How's it going? Happy Saturday. Perhaps a curry Saturday if it's not too warm for you wherever you are right now. It's a little warm here. Little fucking it's warm. Okay, it's warm and it's humid. And it's making me feel gross and disgusting, but we are here anyway. But my utility company are fucking thriving right now because I've been like essentially taking a shower every day. Sometimes I want to take 2 showers a day. It's just, yeah, I'm gonna keep complaining about the weather, so get used to that, I suppose. But I hope that you guys are doing well. Congratulations on surviving the week. I hope it wasn't too rough for you. It's been a bit of a busy-ish one for me. This upcoming week is gonna be super busy too. Just a reminder that Tuesday, this week we'll probably have, unless anything happens, stream tomorrow, stream Monday, and then you won't see me until the event on Saturday because Brock is coming up. Yeah, it's gonna be a really busy week. I got a lot of other things happening, especially on Monday too. So, but I should be done with the majority before I stream. If anything runs over, I'll still try to get a stream in or something. So, yeah, we'll see. What the fuck is this? Okay, cool. But yeah, I hope that you guys have been well. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your weekend so far. Hope it's not been too rough. Today's stream, I have no idea what we're doing. I was contemplating doing some hunts, funnily enough, because the event ends in like a week and I haven't touched it at all. I need to get my shit done. But I'm not sure my usual crew are available to play it today. And Hunt is not a game that I enjoy playing on my own, so we'll have to see. And we'll also do the vote in a wee bit to decide what we're doing today as well. Whether you guys want like a watch along or a hangout or a longer stream. We'll see. But yeah, we can keep yapping for a bit after I say my hellos. Is the music a little too loud? Let me turn that down. Okay. So, hello Dex, congratulations on being voiced. Hello Sandwich, hello Gem, hello Ray, hello Rhino, hello Temmie. Hello Schumann. Hello Stevie. Ray, thank you for the 35 stream streak. Hello, Chris. Higher than heaven. Hello, CJ. Hello, Penguin. Hello, Vec. Hello, Joshy. Hello, Trash Can. I do love wire management. Well, I love it and I hate it. I love it when it's done. I hate doing it. It's such a pain in the ass. You moved your fan. I didn't notice getting moved. This is someone else in chat. You guys, I talked to you about this before. You're not my fans. We don't have that kind of hierarchy. I don't see myself as above anyone here, and I'm just the streamer. This is very parasocial a bit. I mean that in a way of you're just my community. You're just a bunch of people that sometimes stop by and decide to watch me for anywhere between 3 to 6 hours for whatever reason. I had your curry Saturday yesterday. Well, that would have been curry Friday then. Still stinky though. I think you're projecting. All the road work being done. Dude, that just reminds me there's a place that usually whenever my nana and granddad would take it, like have a drive up to Scotland for whatever reason, was visit family or whatever. We always stopped at like Scotch Corner, and I swear ever since I can remember, Scotch Corner has had roadworks. Like, and I'm not just talking like a little bit here and there. Like, it's massive. Always had roadworks for as long as I can remember. I think they put it up and then no one does anything. That just reminded me of that existing. We won't miss you at all. That's okay. You don't have to miss me. Thank you. Thank you. The only thing we have planned is the amazing digital circus. I don't know what else we'll get up to. Probably literally depends on the weather. I know I say that ironically, but if it's too warm, like usually when Brock has come up to visit, it's been during like the autumnal months. So it's not been too bad, or sometimes even winter, the wintry months. Like spring is usually fine. I don't enjoy it, but like I think this is just summer, and then when summer comes, it's summer too, and we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, that sounds about right. I might be getting approved for a personal loan that will consolidate all of my debt into one payment, and much less than what I'm paying for everything I'm juggling. And an interest rate as low as my lowest interest rate loan, something really swell. That's phenomenal to hear. I know you've been working really, really hard over the past couple of years to get those in check. And you're finally getting your race sorted as well. I know they've been fucking you around about that. Hello, Jaikon. Fans are real people too. Fans doesn't equal parasocial. I'm a fan of a lot of people I don't know personally. No, sorry, I wasn't insinuating fan is parasocial. My comment was about you guys not being my fans. Sounding a bit parasocially. I didn't mean it to sound that way. Could be a union scheme. What's a union scheme? Correct works ahead. I sure hope it does. Hello, Robbie. Yeah, you've done really well, Vec. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do today. Honestly, I'll be real with you. I was actually thinking recently, like, I was like, you know, I've been procrastinating on the games I'm supposed to be playing on stream a lot because Overwatch has this weird grip on me. I started playing some more League again. Guys, your girl is reformed. She got 6 honors in a game. You know what that means? I got 4 honors, all from my team, despite at the start, one of my team members flaming me, and then I got 2 people honoring me from the enemy team. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal. You only get a certain amount of honors to give out a game. Sometimes it could be 1, sometimes it could be 4. And usually you don't get honored by the enemy team. Your girl is reformed. Hello, Snowy. How's it going? A normie gamer? I mean, I've always been a League of Legends player. But I was thinking, like, playing, I gotta play DMC4. I gotta... Wait, did I finish 3? I did finish 3, didn't I? I gotta play DMC4. I gotta play through Undertale, not Undertale, what the fuck am I talking about? LARPer, active fucking LARPer here. Deltarune Chapter 3 with the new save, so I can play through Chapter 4. Obviously I have the Pokemon Nuzlocke to finish so that we can do Spyro. Enter the Dragonfly. I also started Dawn of the Dragon. I'd probably like to finish that as well. And then there's also a bunch of the detective games on my wheel I'd like to give a go. Anyway, Phantome also gifted me Crash Out Crew, so there's that as well. Yeah. But here I am. I will sit and just play Overwatch all stream, don't you worry. Who needs to think about the list? Hello, Nuthead. How's it going? I like it when the enemy team flame you when they lost. Did I... The one thing I despise about Overwatch is the Pather. The Pather's pretty shite. As you would say over here. It's pretty abysmal. In a toxic way, because I always... It's gotten to the point where whenever I play League and flaming is going on in chat, I'm just smiling like, okay, I'm home. Not to be like a fucking edgelord freak, but it's just, you know, I'm just like... Look, it's a different ball game when people are flaming in League of Legends compared to when people are flaming or in general socializing in like Overwatch all chat. People are usually like... It's like, what is it called? Like the millennial humor is like Overwatch. Where they're like typing, cool. It's like Overwatch is giving, cool story, bro, needs more dragons type of pattern. And League of Legends is generally sometimes you just, after having a flame session, you're either like freaking grinning from ear to ear because you're like, wow, that was fun. Or you're potentially buying certain items off of Amazon to facilitate your the decreasing of your lifespan. Ugh. Oh dear. Crash Art Crew is so good. I wanted to play the demo when Steam Fest was happening, but yeah, It's basically a way to scam a bunch of money out of a workers' union by increasing hourly wages and not actively working. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Every game of Overwatch I play, I just expected to get blasted. No one said anything today. Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting flamed on Overwatch if the flame was good. I'm very well aware that I am a fucking troll on Overwatch. Like, actually, when it comes to any kind of shooter game, I am absolutely rotten. I'm very well aware of that. I'm not saying that to be like my usual emo self that I am. That is just the cold and hard truth. I'm not good at FPS games. I'm not good at third-person shooters either. So I should have just said shooter games. That being said, like, you know, if I'm getting flamed, I'm gonna expect some, like, you know, I want some weight behind those words. Either say it with your whole chest or, you know, similar to, like, I think Valorant flame as well. It's very, like, babyish and very kind of, you know, like, I'm more insulted in the fact that you didn't flame me harder or say anything of actual flaminess, you know what I mean? And when they're joking in chat, like, it's just really shit pather. It's really fucking, like, I look at it, I'm like, really? We're doing that? It's very cringe. Where in League of Legends, they like talking politics in all chat. And a not so very... honestly, safer stream way. We'll just leave it at that. That's some 3 AM ARAM lobby shit there. Reddit versus 4chan type of shit. I'm not very well aware. I'm not like a Reddit user or a 4chan user. I never really have been. I mean, at the most, I'll have browse. I haven't even touched Reddit in a whole minute, but I'll have browsed like I used to kind of browse Hunt Reddit a lot, and Sea of Thieves Reddit. So I don't quite understand that. Hello, Brennan. Happy belated birthday. You're a troll? I can somewhat hit things, but I can play like 2 champs. It's just the heroes that I like playing is... they are just... you know what I mean? You know? You know what I mean? I like playing Ana, the sniper character. I'm dreading. I am gonna have to play Hunt. Even if it's not on stream today, I'm gonna have to play Hunt, and I'm absolutely dreading coming back to Hunt after like 2 solid months of just playing Overwatch as my shooter game. You know? If you get trash talk, do it tastefully. Yeah, do it. Make sure it's funny, you know? Make sure it's original. Make sure it's like, you know. Winter has been a moderator for 30 months. Guess this is the thing I could do that? That's cringe. Why would you redeem that? Also, hello Winter. How's it going? Used to be a decent FPS games back in Quake 3, UT2K4. What the fuck is... gamers nowadays are too good? It'll take you a while to get back into it, absolutely. It yelled at me to do it, so I gotta do it at least once. Okay, but if I yell at you to do something, all of a sudden you've never heard anything in your entire life. You don't speak English either. Like, okay. Hello, Sag. How's it going? Alright, buddy. Hello, Brad. 4 snowball augments straight to the dome. Yeah, some of the league games I was playing with Brad. Let me tell you, if you're ever having a easy time in your League of Legends games, just invite Brad to your party. Also, Irelia is a dodge on sight. If you have an Irelia in your team on ARAM Mayhem, just dodge. Hachi. I'm okay, thank you for asking. I'm sorry that I sound less energetic. It's not intentional. No, it's crazy. We were playing Mayhem, and like it started off. There was an Irelia that was like my champion is dog shit in this game mode, which is crazy, honestly, because like whenever I play against an Irelia, she's fucking unkillable. She adds Bork and she's fucking unkillable. But whatever. And I was like, okay. And then the next game, we get an Irelia again, and I'm like, oh, maybe this Irelia will be like, you know, will prove the point that actually Irelia is not dog shit. Nope. And then you'll never guess what happened after that. After that game, played another, got another Irelia, and she was also dog shit. Fantastic. So you know what? Maybe the champion might be dog shit. I'm playing Arena as of late. Have you guys seen the updates they're bringing to Mayhem with the the ability specific augments? That looks really exciting. Maybe Brad will be able to hit a Blitzcrank hook. Who knows? Brad is a mystical being of wonders on Blitzcrank. We had someone in our team that wasn't even me. That was flaming him because in all chat because like he couldn't hit a hook. And when he did hit a hook eventually, this guy became Brad's biggest fan. It was crazy, the turnaround actually. Pretty funny too. The effect on people. Also, yeah, we played against a Yuumi that had 4 snowball augments, and that was... I like playing Yuumi because she's a little fucking shit and she torments people, both on your team and on the enemy team. Whenever I've picked Yuumi in Mayhem, my team have always like been instantly like fucking tilted. They're like, oh, I want to play with a Yuumi. However, I do not think that Yuumi should be able to use Snowball while she's on someone. That's all I'm saying. When I see Yuumi, my win rate drops 99%. Well, when you're against or with one. It should not be as hard as it is for people to play Yuumi well, which is crazy to say. Hello, Cal. How's it going? I haven't played Hunt, but I like the gun designs. Like, you like the accuracy of some of the gun designs, or do you like the skins of the guns, or do you like some of the guns that they just kind of mash together and kind of well, amalgamated in that sense then? My problem as a champion, not who's playing it, just get fixated on this shit shouldn't exist and then I play way worse. I mean, that is fair. That's me with, honest to God, Neferi. Neferi is infuriating as a champion. And I don't know why. She basically gets away with what everyone was hate mobbing Akali for when Akali originally got reworked. But people aren't loud enough about it. I like the Aftermath. I think they should add more stuff like that. Winter, are you working today? I remember you saying you had to catch up on stuff. Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's fair enough. 4 hours. Best of luck with that, Chief. Akali was over and over aggro. Set the Fury is more like Fizz, which to me is balanced. Not that I like it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I would rather play against a Fizz than the Fairy. I feel like Fizz can get punished for doing his job as an assassin. I feel like Neferi, despite having a similar kind of pattern of play style, punishing a Neferi is just like fucking impossible. I think the biggest problem is fucking annoying as I'm going to sound, because I think it's, you know, it's nice they want to do things like, you know, she's essentially got Elise spiders with her, right? But all of the time. And they're a lot bigger. And that just makes it so fucking infuriating. Those dogs do more for her than I feel people would care to admit. It's annoying for any skill shot champ, yeah. One of my coworkers is listening to the other guy's calls. You couldn't finish because he was on PTO, so I have to listen to my calls. My last like 3, then I'll be done. I see. What a pain. Do you get paid like extra for essentially doing overtime on work that it wasn't your fault to, you know? Like the Penny Shot Danger, it's a very silly gun and hunt. Oh no, Winter also likes the Penny Shot Derringer. It's not overtime, I didn't work Wednesday. Oh, I see, okay. So I love playing the Fae against Ezreal because fuck that guy in particular. Listen, you leave Ezreal alone. Ezreal is literally who I will pick whenever I have to first pick in lane, and then, or I'm like, you know, my fucking support picks Bard or Yumi or something, you know. Should save my life more times than anything else. I tell you guys about the time that Goat and David ran into Winter while they were all playing Hunt. And Winter fucking killed Goat with a Penny Shot Derringer. Penny shotted him in his mouth. John, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Moida. Hope you enjoy your stay. Have some coins. I will admit, as much as I am of a bit of a Penny Shot hater, I think that it is a very satisfying sound, honestly, when you shoot it. Hello Normanton, how's it going? The jingly is nice, yeah. It's gonna do. Danger that you load with money from your Steam balance and does damage based on the amount? Oh lord. It's more of a hand grenade than a gun. Yeah, I assume that if you were to manufacture a gun like that in real life, the chances are is you're just gonna lose your hand every time you use it. So you get to use it at least once. He takes off her dress, no, letting me go. Hello, Art. Thank you for the self-care check. How's it going? Use it twice then to lose the other hand, and what's left of your face? Skin like it's killing me. I like my bomb lance because I don't have to aim with it. I can just slice people with it most of the time when there's not a monumental ping difference. Order food or just make some. It's curry Saturday. You could get yourself some curry. My Mr. Brightside. That's why it's got 2 barrels. True, 1 for each hand. I don't mind the penny shot Derringer honestly at all. I get why it's so favored, but the thing is as I said before, I'm just horrific at the shooter games, but I'm also pretty horrific in high pressure situations at the point where it's like I forget that I have an arsenal of tools at my disposal. So sometimes I'll just take it, and unless I have it like I have it out and I'm using it, then I will forget about it and it won't get used in the way that it should be. Unlike someone like Winter who will just instinctively fucking take it out and dome you with it without a second thought. I don't have that urgency, I just panic. So 93, I see. Honey used to add pocket sand. Oh my god, you just throw sand at people. Obscures their vision. Well, the problem with that is it wouldn't be very useful considering, like... Well, if they had a long-range weapon, you'd be dead before you even had the chance to pick out your sand and walk up to them. And also, if they had a shotgun, you'd be dead because they would just shoot you. And hit, because the pocket sand probably wouldn't do that much. And you'd have to be pretty close to them. Sharps fires a massive round and some crazy hunter decided to saw down the pistol size. I fucking hate the Sparks pistol. I hate the Sparks, honestly. My reaction times are terrible, same. But at least with me, I can blame it on usual ping, because whenever I play Hunt, because I'm usually playing with either David or Winter, we'll be meeting in the middle of the servers and we'll be playing on US East. Because then we have a similar ping basically. If they come over to EU, it's a lot higher for them. If I go over to US West, then it's a lot higher for me. So yeah, I just blame it on ping diff. Hello Russ, hello Sakura, how's it going? Is this 3 years of playing the game? I've also been playing the game years. I have like 1,000 hours in the game. But as I said, all this Overwatch playing is going to have ruined me. I hit 5 stars once. Believe it or not, I actually hit 5-star in Hunt. I was so proud. Legit, I was a different being back in the day. Now I'm just old and tired. Let me see if I can find that. I think I have the post bookmarked because I was like, I need to save this and forever eternalize it. Suddenly I know I'm not sleeping. Here, all that's left of yesterday. Where is it? Old? Yes, old. A screenshot is also old. I can't fucking find it. Will you? I'd like to find it so I can post it and everyone doesn't think I'm lying. I have so many bookmarks of like art and stuff that like styles that I wanted to reference and whatnot. Truly one foot in the grave with that age you have, I know, right? And what am I doing with my life? Huh. Alright, let's not think about that. I used to be an adventurer, and I took a 5-star to the knee or something. I don't know. I don't play Hunt. Well, usually when I'm playing with, again, Winter and David, these guys have demon MMR, so I'm just in 6-star lobbies. Guys, what if I don't actually have it bookmarked? I'm just lying for clout. I could just be lying for clout, actually. Oh shit, I found a Hunt. Okay. I need to just... Oh no, I found it. I found another set of screenshots. I had a 0.0. Did they fix your KD, David? Also, hello. Over 30? Jesus Christ, Sag. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Ray. I appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. You can lie as a little treat. But is anyone doing with themselves in the current world? A lot more than I'm doing with myself, let's be real. But it's not a competition. Let's actually... I'm gonna take that back a little bit. I don't want to be one of those people. Hey, look at this. Wow. The lonely hell. That's not like a emo thing, like a Kaneki profile picture emo thing. That's just a play on the hunter, my favorite hunter, which is the Lonely Howl, which is the hunter in that screenshot. So that would be pretty cringe of you. We're the wrong people to lie for clout. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. You haven't played since before March, same. Wait, no, actually, I think it's been earlier than that. I don't remember the last time I played. I can check on Steam when I last opened it, but I'm pretty sure I opened it a bit more recently than when I played because I was checking when the battle pass was gonna be done. Or when the event was over. Yeah, it says March 19th, but I'm pretty sure... David, you've played since March? Because you definitely played when I haven't played. I have 1100 hours in Hunt. Anime PFP incoming. I mean, that is my profile picture. My profile picture is anime. It's me. I am anime. Positive affirmation. Oh, I don't know. I don't know today. Let's see. I am braver than I give myself credit for. What do you main and Hunt? What do you mean by what I main? I like the Bomb Lance. I like the Bomb Lance, I like the Romero, I like the Berthier. If I had to give one for each, like, I guess, type then, so shotgun would be Romero. I like the hand cannon the most. For special, it would be Bomb Lance. For long ammo, Berthier. Medium. Maybe the Centennial? Yeah, I was thinking the Centennial. For short ammo? That's a difficult one. I want to say with all of my heart the fucking Bornheim, but I hate and love that gun. It's a love-hate relationship. It is a love-hate relationship. This is I will show you. I'm gonna show you these screenshots because this is fucking hilarious to me. Back when they used to do the nighttime maps, like the wild card maps or whatever, where it was just nighttime, me and a few others would take in it's the only medium ammo gun I like ever see uses a Centennial. Yeah, I used to use the Centennial as like a main weapon for a hot minute before I ended up using the Berthier a lot more. But yeah, me and Brad used to run some real fucking demon shit. Some real demon loadouts in the night map. Oh, oil lamp. Thank you for the lyrics, CJ. Welcome to Crow VTuber and I must stream to save the world. What is this? That is a very anime title. Look at this. Boom. Is it beautiful? This was, I would just like to say this was before they nerfed, like, just taking 2 of the same ammo. And before they nerfed flash bombs too. It was great. We lit up the entire field before Fort Karmic. I also miss being able to pick night map. Like, sometimes I get night map and I'm like, oh my god, why is it night map? I'm not gonna be able to see anything. But sometimes I'm really in the mood to do something funky on a night map, you know? I'm seeing Susan Boyle discourse on my timeline in 2026. What is happening? Okay. Do you guys wanna do our revote for the day? See what we're doing later, so we can decide on what we're doing during this stream. Probably. Okay. So, if you are unaware of what goes on here on a Saturday, usually we do a revote where I guys give you the option of how stream is gonna go. The options being the usual longer stream where I'll just stream for like 6 hours and whatnot. Or you have the option to go for a shorter stream where I'll stream for like another 2 hours and then we'll go do something in the Discord. That's something being either a hangout where we usually do the dolls and then we'll play some games. It might be a party game, it might be if there's certain people wants to do certain things, it might be something like that. Just depends on the mood or whatnot. Obviously that goes without saying, if you join a hangout, you don't actively have to participate in a game or even talk. It's just there for chilling is completely fine. Or we do a watch along where at the moment we are watching the Grand Tour specials. So we'll probably watch one of those or 2 of those. If it's a 2-parter, usually we watch both of them. And just, you know, There is a fourth option as well. It's not really an option, but it is an option that if you just wanted to vote for the sake of voting, then vote that option. I do ask that anyone that is not interested in any of the options, you either vote that fourth option or don't vote at all. Don't vote for the sake of voting because it's not fair on the other people who are voting for something they actively want, because the example that I tend to use is if 10 people vote for a hangout but only 2 people turn up, I'm gonna be a bit pissed off, because if then, you know, like 6 people voted for a watch along but all 6 people would have turned up for the watch along, then it's not fair on them. You know what I mean? It's not an ideal situation. So to me, it doesn't matter if I get a lot of votes or not a lot of votes at all, just as long as the votes are what people actually want and will turn up to. Now, I do completely understand that sometimes, you know, shit happens and you vote for something and you can't turn up to it. I'm not that strict. It's just a kind of let's try to do our best to be a little bit thoughtful. But you guys have got 10 minutes and you can start voting for that now. So, yeah. Wonder, hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Moid. I hope you enjoy your stay. And hello, Jaffe. How's it going? I'm doing okay. I'm chilling. Get this vote done and then we can decide what we're doing for the rest of stream, however long it is. If the votes tie, by the way, then we'll probably do the one that has the least amount of votes instead. Just as a, protest to not tie the votes. If all of them go in a 3-way tie, then I don't know. I'll just choose, I guess. Oh, why don't you just choose anyway? Because it's supposed to be for you guys. What's the point in me choosing? I don't know what you want. I'm not a mind reader, you know? In the end stream usually, I'm trying not to do that so much. Ever since like it happened and then I kind of felt guilty because some people actively were a bit upset. I don't know, I never thought it was kind of that deep. I didn't think people would feel so strongly about my stream ending. Which is on me, I guess. Is it a 4-way tie now? The last option doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many votes the last option gets. I think in the past like two polls, that one actually actively won, so yeah. Akuru, hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Hi. I'm gonna send you all the video. Enjoy.
Hello Raiders. If you feel this stream isn't for you, or you have to leave for other things, don't worry about it. No one's going to chase after you, or hold any grudges. But if you feel like staying, then I hope you enjoy it here.
Hello, my name's Hel. I'm a PI Crow, private investigator by day. Oh, she's dead. Paranormal investigator at night.
Hands off, Galamar.
That cat just spoke real-life words to me. Prego illustrator at sunrises and sunsets. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Alright, I will never do that again. We're fucking gaming. Let's fucking go!
Eat it. Eat this one as well.
Why are you feeding them?
What the fuck is it?
No! Hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. I hope you had a lovely time. And just as you were just chatting, I don't know if you were getting up to anything before then, or if you just had a stream where you were chilling and, you know, shooting the shit. That's completely fine. Do feel free to let us know what you got up to, though, if you would like to. If you don't want to, again, that's completely fine. It's entirely up to you. You just got done streaming. You might want to go rest and shit. All good. For those of you new here, hello, I'm Hell. I won't yap too much about myself because that's what the raid video is for. At the moment, we are pretty much just yapping. We're deciding how the rest of the stream is gonna go since it's a Saturday. I won't bore you with the details on how that works. Once we've done that, I don't know, we'll probably play something. Something will get played eventually, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate that. Also, Zemi K, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Moida. I hope you enjoy your stay. And hello, Trash Cat. How's it going? You vote for the same thing every time? Wait, Winter, what do you vote? You don't have to tell me. It can be anonymous. You was playing TFT or League prior to just chatting? I was just joking about getting to TFT the other day because, well, getting back into it. I haven't played since a very long time ago. Back when the first Spirit Blossom, like, themed TFT thing was, like, a thing. Back when they had, like, the Chosen gimmick or whatever. I used to play a little bit of TFT. And then eventually it just got a bit too much for me to keep up with. But the Cafe Cuties Vex skin is... or I should say Little Legend is just too good. I hope they eventually make it a proper League skin. Because it is upsetting that design will go to waste. I know she just got like the clown skin. I'm not a Vex main by any means. She's fun to play, but it's such a cute Little Legend. So I was joking about getting back into it, but then I heard people talking about TFT, like, mechanically, and I was just like, what are you even saying to me? What the fuck are you even saying to me? So I just was like, you know what, no, never mind. We can leave that for another day. You guys didn't actually have to tell me what you were voting. 12 hours? Not bad. Not bad. Well, you know, 12 hours is pretty hefty, so don't feel like you have to sit here and, you know, chat with me. Not that I am, you know, like, disliking it or meaning to sound hostile as I do. But if you need to go get some rest, don't worry about it. You don't have to answer all my questions. I could teach you, everyone. Maybe. I don't know, I have a lot of games I have to play. I need to stop playing League and Overwatch. I have games I'm supposed to be playing. I was just complaining about this earlier. I have games that I need to finish for people. Is Tea Time Vex only TFT? I think it is. I think it's just a Little Legend. William Masters, Chud? I mean, that's pretty good considering the only other, like, active TFT player I know is barely ever getting out of gold, so... Hopefully he's not around to hear that. Or maybe he is. You asked, I don't care the people. Yeah, no, I know I asked, but I didn't want to pressure if anyone didn't want to say, okay? You gotta play 160 games of Overwatch before the second? Wait, why 160 to get your title? Hello, Boyka, how's it going? It's a good thing there's no finish line for TFT, so you can pick up whenever you want. Yeah. Honestly, I am pretty impressed with how far they managed to take TFT. See, back when I was a bit more of a TFT player, again back in the day when it was just like there wasn't really much going on in terms of TFT. It was just, you know, you try and make a comp and you have like, you know, the comps on the side and that's about it. That's what you do. But back when they used to do like the Little Legend was like the Little Legends were only available through the gacha system of the eggs. I spent like £150 getting all of the Hush Tales. Take that how you want it. I probably helped fund TFT in its early stages. You're welcome. Is that happening, Big Dog? I mean, wait, is the 160 games calculated if you lose every single game or if you win every single game? Getting at a goal, I think you just have to play a lot. I remember TFT is like, if you place top 4, or well, it's mainly top 3, you will gain LP, right? You can gain LP in top 4, but it's like the 4th place, but it's not guaranteed. Sometimes you might even lose LP. It depends on... It depends on their... No, this... I could be showing my age if this is no longer how it works. It depends on the rank of the person that's in 5th place, question mark? Play a few games of Classic and get 3 more, but otherwise, yeah, I just have the repeating. I see. You should join the Boxbox Bootcamp for next. I have a mutual that does that. Okay, so we're doing the watch along today because you tied long stream and hangout. I listen to Boxbox playlists sometimes whenever I'm in ARAM and I get like Katarina. I'll put on his Nightcore playlist from back in the day. Lose if I win it would be half and then just win so it'd be faster. Top 4 is always LP gain. I swear there was a situation I saw on Twitter where someone was complaining they lost LP in 4th place and was confused how it happened, and someone had said like, oh, it's to do with the rank of the person that finished either above or below you. Tie, does that mean medium stream? No, it just means we're gonna do a watch along. I told them if they tied it, I will do the one that is voted the least for. So we're gonna go watch the Grand Tour. We're gonna do a short stream and then we're gonna go watch a Grand Tour special. Is it matter I'll turn off for anything? Bless you, Stevie. It's like copium, maybe. I mean, as I said, I was never really invested that much into TFT. It was really funny at the time, though. I think I used to play TFT with the GOAT and David. David was like really good at TFT. I won on sheer luck, and I remember this. I just remember a time where the GOAT genuinely getting mad at me because I was like winning with some weird fuck ass like shit, and he was like genuinely trying and coming in 8th. And sounds a bit pick-me-ish, but I think it was because it was when they put that chosen mechanic in. It's all the last thing I fucking remember in TFT was when it was like, oh, you could. I would just pick the first one that came in my shop and build a team around it, even if it was like shit. And it just kept working. It kept fucking working. It was really funny. Guys, is a web widget the same as like a... Can you use a web widget as a browser source, or does it need changes made to it to be able to use it as a browser source? No worries, thank you so much for the raid again. I do appreciate you trusting your community with me. It means a lot. That was very, very sweet of you. Best of luck with your rest of your day. Hello, Strange Love. How's it going? Thank you for the 15 stream streak. Browser sauce? Will it just work as a browser sauce? I was looking at widgets for Deezer to see if they had made anything, and there's now a widget that you can embed the Deezer widget in your website to share your favorite music. I'm just wondering if I can just use it as a browser sauce because it does support. I don't know if it supports like an actual player though to show what's playing. It just says album, playlist, track, artist, podcast, episode. You know? Try it. From these, select any supported content you would like to generate a widget for. Copy the URL and paste it in the field below. Okay, well, I guess we'll try a song. Okay. What do I do? I need to share. We'll copy the link, paste it. This content is not available at the moment. Me when Deezer lies, actually. Never mind, never mind, they just lied to me. Oh, wait, there's a GitHub. Wait. Oh, it's in French. What does it say? I need to translate this. Oh, no, I don't need to translate that. That says the project is... Does this mean archive? Does this mean that it's not usable? Wait. This was in December of last year, by the way. What the fuck? Orpheus. Okay. Okay, right. Time to see. Hopefully I'm not downloading a fucking... window... Wait, so... Wait. Okay, this is crazy. So, this is the first time I've ever seen something like this where under installation, macOS is fine. Linux is fine. Windows is the experimental one. Warning, Windows support is experimental. You may encounter issues with Windows Defender blocking the binary or compatibility problems on ARM64 devices. What the fuck is an ARM64 device? Thankfully, I have literally a slew, is that even the term I'm looking for, of nerds in chat that can tell me what the fuck is an ARM64 device. I was talking about TFT back in the day, where I would be pulling comps out my ass and you would get mad because I would get first and you would get 8. Do I have an ARM64 device? Click on setting. Okay. System. And then I don't think I have. Do I just search my processor? Wait, oh wait, no. Hello, Sucumbia, how's it going? Okay, it's not ARM64, so I should be okay, right? Because I don't have Windows Defender on, because I use a different one. You're the wrong kind of nerd. Okay, so... Hi. Hello, Jesus. Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome to the Moida. I hope you enjoy your stay. Wait, so... Where the fuck do I download this? This here? Guys, what kind of file extension is .tar.gz? Sorry, what? What virus am I looking at installing? this is .exe.tar.gz. Oh, it's a compressed archive format primarily used on Linux and Mac OS. So it's a zip. You like shiny things? Yes, I do like shiny things. It's a zip. It sounds like a zip for Mac and Linux users. Okay. So crow coded. Thank you. Can I open it with a normal? Do you like unsalted peanuts and hard-boiled eggs? No. Hard-boiled eggs are fine. Peanuts I'm not a big fan of. Alright, let me actually have a look. Has anyone been posting about this? Like, does anyone like... Issues. Let's look at the issues. No results. Oh no. Guys, I don't think anyone is... I don't see like any comments or shit. Now, do keep in mind that navigating GitHub fucking confuses the shit out of me. 6 stars. Is that good? 1 follow. Am I about to be a beta tester for this virus? Everything was last updated like... There's something like 3 months ago. Guys, how do you know whether like something on GitHub is gonna brick your computer or not? I dabbed on Linux for 2 days, got pissed and stopped. Is it really that like... I don't know, don't do it. Okay, I won't do it. What if I did it? It's my stream PC. What if I just brick my stream PC? Wouldn't that be funny? Alright, well... If I'm ever feeling bold and dangerous, I can do that. Get a 3rd monitor, capture Deezer off of that? Yeah, alright. Monitor just for Deezer? The Deezer monitor? You're already bald and dangerous? Blah, I got a full head of hair, fuck you. I actually was trying to schedule a fucking haircut and it's difficult. Everywhere's like, no, no, no. We have pictures that say otherwise. AI generated. Alright, what do we do for an hour and a half then? Before we go watch, as it is termed, Old Men Yowie. Oh man, yeah, that's just what people call Top Gear, and by people, I mean, I've only ever heard Joshy say it, but you know. Thanks for recognizing them people too. The only thing that isn't a person here is Daniel, so. You know how many times that guy has fucking turned around and killed me in a game? How many times he's put a bullet through my head? He deserves it. Alright, what do we do? I don't think I can sit here for an hour and a half and yap. I've nothing to talk to you guys about. I do apologize. I am not that's artificially entertaining. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can just sit and yap, but not today. I'm a little tired. This is how it's been, no, it always will be. Oh, the weather for it is so fucking muggy. Not to sound like a broken record, but sleep has just not been, it's not been sleeping. The sleep has not been sleeping. Do some league or something. Take a break from hurting your guys' eyes with Overwatch. I'm not gonna be starting any games in an hour and a half, so I think it's okay in this instance. I think you're above me. Forwards choke apart. I love logging onto League and seeing that there is a red exclamation mark in the corner. That's very fun. You wanted to marinate your chicken for longer? Then why didn't you? What stopped you? Too many times I've been at rip a hole into my friendship. Oh, the chef's kiss skins are out. Whoa, where's Chocoporn? Guys, should we gamba? Oh, I haven't heard this song in a hot minute. Where is it? Fucking clicking every tab apart from the one I need to. Oh, cool. That's actually probably the nicest icon I've gotten so far from this. Followed by the horriblest one. And even I have this feeling that you look away too much. This is horrible. I just dissociated there.
Let us hunt those who have fallen to darkness.
In carnage, I bloom like a flower in the dawn.
Jin is getting a new skin actually, and it looks really good. It's a Broken Covenant skin, which is like the Coven skin line, which I'm super happy for because I wanted one really badly. My only thing is I'm upset he didn't get kind of like a crow slash raven-y type of mask. Mordekaiser. Sorry, what? Draven got a Victorious skin? Oh my god, these are not it, by the way. What the heck? I'm going this. You don't get rewarded for overcapping on crit, so...
Suppose I must make do with this talky setting.
Hello, Faint. How's it going? Scope here all the way? No. And that's coming from someone that doesn't like... what do you call it? I don't like, lethality builds, usually. But the upgrade Hubris, I might get, like, Shrink Engine or something, which would be really fun. The Victorious Draven skin kind of looks like... what do you call it? Fucking... the Beast Hunter one. Bye-bye. Looks like shit, it does look like shit. Okay. This is crazy. The game has been going on for nearly 2 minutes and our Scion hasn't died. Usually these guys run it the fuck down. That was pretty horrible. How I don't have enough. Do you think they'll be upset? I'll go wait, 200 gold. Have to use the passive. If I ever play side, I start with Heartsteel. If they ignore me, I insta pivot to Lethality Bruise. It'll make you regret ignoring me. Attention seeking Scion, what is this?
Violent proposition.
Oh! I like the idea that I'm just dying a lot so I get full use of my passive, you know? Oh, okay, what is this? I should bring back old Syra passive as an AUG. Could you imagine? Dude, people are gonna be so confused. They'll be like, what the fuck is this piece of shit? Take it. Or don't. Full crit build? I don't think I've seen a full crit Scion, which is surprising. I figured, especially considering I play this game mode primarily, like that would be something that is not as rare as, you know. I think out of all of the tanks in this game mode, Tahm Kench might be the biggest fucking menace. What are we pinging, Cled? Calm down. You think I could get Mordekaiser to ult me? Oh yes. On the plus side, I'd get more hubris stacks. On the bad side, I'd have to build a Heartsteel. But this crit missile. Crit missile is kind of dangerous. Did I go Titanic? Oh. How close do I have to beat to them for Heartsteel to proc? What's the range of Heartsteel? Does it say? I could just buy it. The Green Goblin mask. 500 units? Not the worst. I have played Bruiser Jin before, but Heartsteel wasn't a thing when I played that. Hello Brock, how's it going? Okay, I need... why? Nah. I was thinking, do I go Merc Treads here? I'll just go Speedy Boots. Hey, look at that, I got 44 stacks.
The mask.
I just got fucking deleted! What does this guy have? Oh no. I'm regretting the Heartsteel. Oh no! Oh no!
Trigger on a
Guys, is he griefed? I'm just gonna go straight for Titanic. Oh no. Oh no. That's looking crazy. Oh no.
Face the crowd. Lead for them. You will learn what beauty truly is.
No! Fuck! Listen, I'm I'm a little flustered. Did I really like Mordekaiser? Hey, my stack stumbled!
An enemy's on a killing spree.
Oh, I need to mute this Clyde, you're fucking annoying.
I get nervous before every performance, but I need that feeling.
I can get like a stack before. Oh, Goliath. Oh, it's ability damage though. I'm going Goliath. Dude, that's gonna be insane. Look at this, I have 4k health. Oh. Do I even got high roller to gold? Ooh. My stacks.
I wonder what they think when they see me.
Is this guy? Oh, that's why. He didn't ult me.
They will sing. They will die.
I can't fucking. I need to save my bullets until the fucking Heartsteel pops up. Alright, I should probably get some crit, huh? What do I... last 2 items?
Enemy killing spree.
What the fuck do I build? I don't know if I build a rapid fire. Guys, would it be grief to build an Infinity Edge and then go fucking Collector? My fucking build is all over the place. You know, I have no gold, I'm broke. We'll just have to
Live for the applause.
worry about... The heal from Hubris! Oh my god. I got 5k health.
The end is important in all things.
Music the shopkeeper. Listen. This brand knows.
Feel everything. The gun makes it so I
Can you reset into 4th shot with the Titanic? You're asking me too much on this fucking fuck ass day. You know what I need? I need some lifesteal. That's what I need. Do I go Death Stance actually? Wait, hang on a second. Oh wait, Death Stance doesn't give lifesteal anymore. I'm just fucking building shit. Honestly, I shouldn't be griefing like this. Like,
They're puppets.
I shouldn't be doing this.
They dance.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, I couldn't test it. It's such a freaking infuriating. Oh! Oh, I don't think it hurts! Well, if I'm going live still, I don't really need... fucking tank engine, fuck it. Okay, now I just need to, like... Do I get more tank engine stacks, maybe? If, like, I don't know. We'll see. 6k health.
Orchestrate death.
That's my Titanic looking at. You know what I need? What's that fucking item? That's what I need.
I can't live without the euphoria of performance.
He has prismatic sac. Uh-oh. What the fuck hit me? What is that? Is that Sin? Oh.
Turning blooms into artwork. The face of your killer is identical to mine.
He didn't ult me. I don't do any damage. Holy shit. That hit me? Oh, insane. I'll buy this knife. There we go. I just have health, that's it. These guys are still popping me, but it's fine. We're having fun, right? This is what Mayhem is all about. Well, it's first zero crit gen. That's technically not true because my 4th shot crits. Look,
Choreograph this
if we make it to the point where I can buy some anvils, I'll buy a crit one, okay? We'll get 8%. 8% is only 1%. その方がいい残酷なほど罪だとわかるよ Yes, you can. I think that was faster. You can. Oh, let's go. でしまった運命が笑い出す誰も誰も知らない秘密戻らないきっと Maybe I should have built an ending despair as well.
Everyone wears a mask. I just chose to.
My problem is I just... He Cloud Courage! Bork Jin? I have built Bork Jin before and look, it worked a little bit. The problem with Bork is that the reason you build Bork is... Sometimes I wish it was with damage and not with, like, you know, based on how many attacks you do per second. If you know what I mean. I can't wait to see my damage. Oh. Guys, I don't even really... Someone has the fucking exalted thingy. You know, thanks for... I didn't even play the game, honestly. Do I want to look at the damage graphs? No, don't look at that. Don't look at... Don't look at that. Honestly, I would be surprised if I see a screenshot of my fucking build on Twitter atting through 11. Someone trying to get me banned. I wish Bork did damage based on damage. No, I wish Bork did its whole reason for existence. You know what I mean? I wish Bork benefited from damage sometimes over attack speed. But then I think that would actually... What the fuck? Be a problem. Oh shit. I was tabbed out! I got it. I really like that Sivir skin. Alright, 1 second. Alright, there we go. I start something. There we go. Okay, what the fuck do I want here? Killing time, probably. What we got? AP, boom. Let's go.
Everybody, who says I cannot? I will prove them wrong. I will become them. Black, love the joyful to become you. You are not secretly evil, are you?
Dude, Biko might be the one of the most bestest skins in the game. It looks so good. Like the model wise, usually there's a lot of really good skins for like splash art wise, but excuse me. Well, that didn't work. Like splash art wise, there's a lot of really cool skins, but I think Biko is one of the rare skins where the splash art and the model is really nice. See, I can't find my way. And I'm coming to get you.
I will.
I don't wanna be the one.
Everyone bite into even enemies. Wish I could
Don't. Careful. There's a trap. It's a trap. It's a Star Wars meme, right? Okay, guys, I'll be over here if you need me.
feeling brave. Like a wildcat. Roar! Feel that rebirth.
Oh. This does nothing, by the way. I don't know why. I'm expecting. Clearly, what's gonna happen there is I'm gonna one-shot them, of course. Is this guy got a lot of. No, why is he. I can't find a way out of my. They fucking destroyed our tower. Holy shit. I suppose I have Caitlyn and Sivir and fucking Lucian and Udyr.
Nico becomes Nico.
Be the one. I can't find a way out. Oh.
Sit down and listen up.
Oh, that's fucking. That's rough. Boom, headshot. Do I gamble? Kill secured and overflow. It's kind of fucking garbage, honestly, but whatever.
Nico scan.
I'll be needing one of these.
People with no tail. Oh yeah.
たとえ悪いことのない悲しみがなどであっても
And down. Survival.
They will never know. Are you fucking kidding me? They knew. I mean, yeah, well, hell, you just use your W. I know. Not my best Nico game. Holy shit, there goes our other tower. Okay. Holy fucking shit, Udyr hurts. Not the capybara. Don't worry, guys.
What to do now? Find his breath? Have a picnic!
I need to rewatch Black Butler. I want to watch the fucking school. Oh. I wanted to flash and do the Seeker's Arm Guard, but I don't have the reaction speed for it right now. I want to watch the school arc, but I wanted to rewatch everything else in proper order because Black Butler didn't release in order. So I was like, what if I watch it in like the actual kind of canonical order? It splits up like gonna W that. It splits up like midway through its first season to go into another arc, which is crazy. But Overlord did the same in its last season. Like, or was it the third season? There's like a movie in the middle of it you needed to watch. Honestly, the movie was pretty fucking gruesome. Please, I'm dead. I'm so dead. It does so much damage, holy shit. Oh, why the fuck not around the prismatic? What'd I get? Throw your sword! Oh my god. Phenomenal. Ow. Wait, you can wait, what, really? What? Wait. Should that be allowed? I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, it doesn't, to be fair, it doesn't really matter for me, I suppose. I am fodder at this point, but that's nice to know. Maybe I should pivot to on-hit Nico. And the stat maxing is coming. Honestly, my whole team should just report me. I think I deserve to get banned. Got all the bonus plus range. Being attack speed Vel'Koz? Wait, that's crazy. I wonder, I was surprised a lot of people did not, like, complain about that. I'll wait to see how much damage I just have done. Fucking Gragas, you don't need to bully me this hard. What is this? You know what? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Okay, thank you. Oh. It's a real CBT today with these mayhemings. Oh, something that I discovered. So Tibbers, like, you know, Void Rift, the prismatic Void Rift. Tibbers actually fucking just permanently is just triggering that, which is pretty cool. I think it might be every time he autos actually, which is really nice. And also, if someone autos you, like Annie Shield, that also triggers the Void Rift, which is cool. I really like Void Rift. At first I hated it, but then I've been taking it on a few champions where it's just like you're just procking it like non-stop. It's so satisfying. So I also been taking it on Brand. That was crazy. I have way too my fucking. It says 31 ms in the top corner. You can't see it, but actually it's really like 200. She have like. I need to be the one engaging here, but I don't even know how I do this. Haha, not today. Today you die. Oh no. Okay, we're good. I appreciate the carry, guys. I know we're not exactly out of the woods yet. Jesus Christ. Okay, what am I doing here? Dude. Oh no. Can my Zhonya critically strike? Oh my god. I'm getting mogged. How does someone go 2, 9, and 8 on ARAM and sneak? Oh my god. I just need to hit a fucking snowball. I'll have Zhonya's for another like. She have okay boomerang? Okay, this guy griefed. I griefed, actually. I can't. I want to minion up, but I can't even do that. I can't because the fucking Sivir, Caitlyn, and Lucian just eat the waves. What is this? Like, I don't know what to say. Maybe sorry to my team. Hey, I proc Storm Surge. Cool. I've got 200 armor. Well, apologies to my team. I will just lock in next game, I'm sure. And my options, I am sure, are going to be, like, very good for me. You know what? I deserve a little gamble. Okay, that's kind of cute. Ew. Never mind, I'm upset now. Why is Hammond still there? Why not? You're the only one that's commented. No one else has said anything. Unless they did, and I've just been really ignorant. Which I guess my bad. You just expect Hammond to be there now. I think it's funny, but if anyone is finding it incredibly annoying or off-putting, I can turn it off. For games like League and Overwatch, it's not really a big of a deal, I figured, but if there's, you know, if I'm playing like a game, I'll probably turn it off. Minecraft movie will be called Square. Alright, Raised Viking, I know you were in the last game. I know you witnessed what I did to your last game, but do not worry. I am the best Twisted Fate ever. Oh, Jin. I won't grief this time. I won't grief this time. I will not grief this time. I won't. Look, I'll even... Where is it? I'll even put this on. No. I'm not gonna grief this time. Alright. Oh, what is this team? Never mind. I'm sorry, Raised Viking. It's over. Oh, it really is over. What the fuck is this? Ultimate time. Twice, I guess. I guess it's going to be absolutely fuck all use, but why the fuck not? I guess.
The stage is set.
It's okay. I don't need augments to play well on Jin. Vampirism, get excited. Okay. I didn't start it.
Matters.
I just participated. Okay, noobs. Okay, no, this is like... I don't like this. This is like Overwatch pattern. Let's not do this. Not the Goddam.
It's very simple. When I shoot,
I had to play with against an Echo last time. Okay, right. Shen, this is why... Dude, I can't remember League lore. Did I kill Shen's dad? I'm pretty sure I did, right? Or was it Zed? It was me, right? Did I? Have you got... No, you don't. No one had a prismatic.
harmony, discord is required for contrast. You will learn what beauty truly is.
Either way, Shen, this is why your dad is dead. Lore-wise, lore. Shen's lore in lore. Shen. His dad. Literally Shen, not the guy playing Shen. I don't... What does he have? Tunneler? Oh, Tunneler's the item. Wait, I was confused. I was like, whoa, Alchemist is Tunneler. I've never heard of that one before. Wait, she was toxic? I am, but not right now. Just fucking Biolord Dominic's now. Like, these fucking pure meatheads.
The face of the is identical to
I'm gonna want that back.
Oh god.
Here comes the big one. Stay and shoot fire.
If things get too scary, my shop is always open.
I'm not denying I am toxic, but
I never heard
not in
anyone.
this way.
It is the performance that counts. Life has no meaning, but your death shall.
I also love cats. Kindred has a nice name. You guys ever just like... Do you guys ever just have phantom ability syndrome? What does that mean? Where you got that muscle memory where you try to press an ability even though it's on cooldown, you press it anyway. That's me with Jin W. I didn't need that. I don't know why I'm...
This art is an emotion. I cannot resist it.
And you're just like, why aren't they rooted or stunned or whatever? And you're just like, oh, because I don't actually have it up.
Chase to your heart's
I just engage with ult? Okay, we're doing this.
The trigger on a loaded weapon, it whispers first time.
Bro, what is his fucking health? I was about to force shot him and be done with it. That vampirism is crazy.
The ecstasy of killing.
I love wasting my fourth shot on Shen pool. What do you even call it? It does look like a pool. weirdo. Searchlights.
Watch my puppets dance.
Get from the hammer. Oh.
Face the crowd and bleed for them.
Remember what we practiced. I'll be grading your performance.
Every element.
Okay, tenacity. Fey magic. Oh no.
Training in the field.
Is he gonna turn people he kicks the person into polymorph? How's that work?
Violent composition.
Are you smaller than before? Better time, go, Wolf.
Your final scene begins.
I'm so bad. Oh, the minions don't die.
Art should terrify.
3. Oh no! It's getting that ready. Courage of the Colossus. Let's go. Oh, should I just go king me? You know what? Yeah, why not? Let's go king me. Alright, this... I'll go wait for this too. I'm sure I'm gonna get something really, really good with king me.
Shut down.
Art requires a certain cruelty. With Nocturne, killing develops into
What?
artwork. Something deep inside me.
Oh, Gallia ulted me. I was like, where the fuck did I get the shield from?
See something? Learn something.
Guys, I'm so fucking out of it. I promise you I'm not like a drug user or anything like that. I'm just really tired. For fuck's sake. Oh, another prismatic. Okay, let's do this. It's the weed from the basement. Are you where did you get weed from down there? Who is dealing to you down there? The cherry snacks and stews. Once again, very fortunate the ghost is a water drinker. Thank you for the self-care check, Art. How's Lil Hell doing? Is she a bit more comfortable now? They say you can get it delivered as 2026. Okay, but like...
I swear each performance is the last, but I lie every time.
You're so fast! No, please! And the windows. Wait, what the fuck? So, when I go chaos, I get shit from a butt. No, it's like it sounds like she's calmed down a wee bit at least. I need, you know what? Fuck that. I need this.
I shall choreograph this affair.
Why me? Great. You're living on top of a library? Hmm.
Do you have a moment? Trace to your heart and back off.
Prepare for your finale.
Oh, the bookstore. Oh, I see. I was gonna say I was confused because it's like in the library, don't you just get like a card and then it's like, you know, Bob's your uncle?
Asks questions. It never has answers.
Oh my god.
Remember what we practiced.
They've just got perma healing, try and poke them down.
Art must exist.
Because of the Michaela's and the laser healing. This would be an opportune moment to get the king me, but I'm 2 HP, I'm gonna die to the fucking...
Until they stop it.
No! I mean, whatever. Hello, Ninja. How's it going? Oh, Jesus Christ. Good night, Nuthead. Sleep well. Thank you for stopping by. You don't have to apologize for something like that. Okay, right. You know what? As I said before, I don't actually need... I don't even think I've done anything with this. I don't need Augment Sunjin to do well. Oh, right. He just walked up. I should have bought a fucking... fucking Mortal Reminder instead of a Lord Dominic's, but I'm not thinking straight. I might get a Serpent's Fang, actually.
I cannot be good. I must be perfect.
Sivir has Mortal Reminder. I'll get a Serpent's... Oh, no, Sivir has Serpent's Fang, 2. Maybe I don't have to buy. I'm not the main character.
What sweet sadness is killing.
Okay. I think they should let me get my King Me as a little treat.
The show never ends.
I'm like, okay, right. I didn't do any damage to him. What is this? This fucking Lee Sin's gonna have 5 prismatics, okay? God. Okay, no. 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 Okay, Goliath is fine. Okay, right, thank you. These guys just gonna I could have sold that and got my fucking rapid fire. Rapid fire? Where's the drama in that? You know, as he says. I love that line, honestly.
Everyone wears a mask. I just
Hi
chose
guys.
my own. Life has no meaning, but your death shall.
Here comes the big one!
Hey guys.
I pull their strings. And then
Yay! What'd I get? Giant Slayer? Guys, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Taste to your heart's content.
Oh god. The tickle monster will. He's not even. It's just. Dude, he's not even. He has glass cannon, by the way.
I am
Oh, lord. He's not even tanky. I just fucking breathed in his direction. That was what that auto was.
Remember what we practiced.
Yes, the gun is ironic.
Oh my god. No!
This performance needs more zazz.
Okay. It's dead.
Are you smaller than before?
Where the grenade?
Death should never be quick. It should be an opera.
Training in the field.
The ecstasy of opening night.
Shine once more.
Oh. Wait, it shows you the bonus damage from fucking Giant Slayer now? That's crazy.
Watch out! Dragon verbs!
If I get this outfit dirty, I'm going to be so annoyed.
Forward to your return.
Final battle begins. Inside me.
Okay. Cool. I got to pick up some kills. Thanks, team. Look at me. Look at my crown.
Good girl.
Only to the audience do I
Don't be
show
shy.
my true face.
I was so dead there. I was so fucking dead. Holy shit, that guy was gonna pop me like a balloon. Oh. My damage, damn. Guys, I am, we don't talk about these games, honestly. Probably got time for one more before we go do our watch along. I mean, it's a no-brainer. This champion is broken. In my hands, I will make Mel look balanced. Don't you worry. God. I wonder who Blitzcrank mains. It truly is an enigma. What are we getting? Silver on our last game. We invest in Twin Fire. Maybe we get like Jeweled Koala or something.
My time in the King Crew did not prepare me for this.
Hello, Block. How's it going? Underworld Godskin on Mel and calling it hell?
What have you learned?
That would be really funny.
Strategy and strength. Follow my direction. We'll emerge from this.
Tick-tock. Thanks for breaking my fall.
Is this your last act of defiance?
Damn.
Minions has spawned.
So last game we saw a Heimerdinger do that to someone else, and this time it happened to a Heimerdinger. Spaghetti Vel'Koz, dude, that skin looks so funny.
See through deception.
Look, I had no part in that one that time. Okay, Brad decided to fucking snipe my game on his alt account. Thanks.
Double time.
Owie.
Nothing I could.
Oh, what the fuck? They both have the Helmet Bro icon. Printing a picture frame for cool project? You wouldn't download a car? You wouldn't print a picture frame. You'd print a picture.
Your sacrifice is fought greatly.
You print the screws as well. Dude, a 3D printer sounds like such a good investment. What am I doing? What is wrong with me? Kinda hungry.
I am glad to see the spirit blossoms bloom again, despite all that ails the Firstlands.
My tummy has the rumblings that only hands can satisfy. Mushroom, pineapple, and chicken pizza? I mean... No, I don't think so. I've seen worse combinations. I mean, it's weird that you're getting mushrooms, but I despise mushrooms, so... Did Seraphine ult? I need to be awake enough to counter a Seraphine ult. Never mind, it didn't hit me. Yeah. Risk it. Yes! Oh my god. Gambling. Gambling paid off, guys. Remember that.
Your people's ambition threatens our peace.
Something that proves I'm unfit to lead.
Okay, Mal. I didn't buy an item there. I really tried. I tried so hard. To see how unplayable the new Mayhem update will be. As I have joked, Brad might be able to hit a fucking hook. I am just so cooked. God, pizza sounds good, but I don't know if I could eat a pizza. Maybe like 2 slices. You have to hit it before it upgrades? Wait, really? Oh, Brad, you're fucking cooked. Not even an augment can save you because you wouldn't be able to get it. How many minutes did it take for me to hit one? I swear like 8. It was diabolical. Ow. I'm saving my W for Seraphino. She won't even fucking ult me. Why are you saving W? Because it's on a fucking 30-second cooldown. Yeah, everyone was like fucking cheering. Ugh.
Adapt to their behavior. No more mistakes.
This is very comfortable behind me.
I have seen the spirits behave this way once before, long, long ago.
Don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. Oh, I'm dead. You were staring at the window, and I said, I'm gonna take you to the sea. When I'm better, you'll do everything. Gotta start naked, promises I can't keep. And if I was gone tomorrow, with the waves crashing, it's selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun. Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry. I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember. Darling, don't look for me. I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. Oh, I'm tanking. Okay. I'm just scared of getting used to this. You tethered in your room. Someday both of us are leaving you. But for now, I'll just bring the sea to you. Ooh. Could be. Chance. Darling, me, I'm just a story you told. So let's be. What am I doing? Griefing my whole team.
How does Koshin fare these days? If only I could pay it one more visit.
Holy shit.
The wolf, the fox, both necessary, both unrelenting. I choose to live whenever possible.
Don't let up.
Ow.
Ah, the sweet smell is so much simpler on the council.
Oh. My bad, Chief. Oh, I'm not even level 15. And with food, what kind of food do you have? Did you bring enough for the whole Moida?
It is freeing to see such spirited youth.
Uh,
A luxury I once took for granted. My speciality, alone.
I haven't ulted this entire game, by the way. I need to hit abilities to ult. Oh shit, okay. Gorge ring.
Any desire can be fulfilled.
I used my W. Hopefully she didn't notice. She's dead. Let's go. Okay.
I deserve everything I get. I know that.
Oh, they just ended. You know, fair enough. We weren't exactly hard winning that. The possible Seraphine rework where they turned out into Dance Dance Revolution and made it like a Ryan Soul Global. Wait, that was legit? I thought it was just a joke. Got honest, Blitzcrank for hitting more hooks in that game than Brad has hit in his life. Alright, you know what's perfect timing. Okay, so that is probably going... Look at my damage, holy shit. I didn't hit anything. These games, I have just terrorized my team. I apologize for that. Could be Wild Rift only? I just thought it was a meme. I thought it was fake. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna call it there for the day. Since we are gonna go and do a watch along in the Discord. We're gonna be watching whatever the next special we're on for the Grand Tour. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join along. They are all standalone like episodes, the specials, so don't like worry about, you know, oh no, I'm not caught up. But it's up to you guys at the end of the day. If you could stick around for just a wee bit longer, as always, I would like to raid out into someone because it makes their day seeing your faces in their chat and you get some channel points for doing so. Today we're gonna go say hello to Brock. Brock is streaming today because, I don't know, he wasn't streaming yesterday. Usually he streams on a Friday, but he's streaming today, so we're just gonna go say hello to Brock. Brock is playing some Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I know is a fan favorite in here, so I hope you enjoy that. Now, I don't have a raid message. I don't really do raid messages, but if you'd like to pop a hello in the chat, ask him how he's doing. I'm sure he'd appreciate the conversation. Just be on your best behavior, please, and thank you. I'll be there, I'll be watching, I'll be lurking, so if anyone is a shithead, which I really, really doubt that you guys will ever be, you will not be welcome back here. I do have every intention of streaming tomorrow. It just depends on the weather and it depends on, you know, other things as well. I'll let you guys know if anything changes. I don't know what we'll be up to, but I'm sure it'll be a good time. But thank you so much for coming today. I hope you had a nice time, as short as it was. I really do appreciate your company. Thank you to my chatters, to my lurkers, to anyone that came by in the raid today and decided to stick around and give me a chance. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right now, you guys have a lovely rest of your morning, noon, or night, wherever it is you are. Take plenty good care of yourselves. Try your best as always. Stay cool, and I will perhaps see you tomorrow, okay?